Hey friends, today I'm taking you along as I simplify this kitchen. Obviously, the best place to start is cleaning and decluttering what is already in front of me. So that was my first goal, putting everything back where it belongs, and then deciding what is going to stay on the counter. This will be things that stay out all the time. You can't exactly start simplifying your kitchen until your sink is empty. Every time my two youngest are on dish duty, it basically means Mama's on dish duty for the week because they are at school Monday through Friday from about 7 to 3, and goodness knows I'm not going to wait until the afternoon every day to get the dishes done. The jars have found a home. Now it's time to take care of these chai spices. We were making chai several times a week, but now we're down to about once a week, and there's just no need to have all of these jars and this giant mortar and pestle out on the counter. On this section of countertop, the mixer is used multiple times every single day, so that will always stay out, as well as the silverware caddy. I buy our silverware in bulk from a restaurant supply company, and it just has worked out so well for our large family for the last almost 10 years to just have it out on the counter in a caddy. Makes dishes easy, and we just move it around according to where we're eating dinner. My plan is to take the knives out of the knife block and find a place for them in a drawer. There are only two main drawers that I want to purge and organize today. This is the first one. The first thing I'm going to do is empty this drawer, then I will wash the caddies, wipe out the drawer really well, and then we will go through the items one by one to see what is essential and what can go. I'm always pretty grossed out when I do chores like this and realize just how filthy everything is underneath. You just don't pay attention when day in and day out you're using all of these items. They get washed, they get put back. Most of the time the children are putting them back, and I just don't pay attention to what's at the bottom of these caddies. There was a time we were desperate for chip clips, so I brought these 3 clothespins in to use as chip clips until I finally broke down and bought a new packet at Home Goods. Baby spoon, we haven't used that in about 6 years. Lastly, a little handful of corn cob skewers, and now I need to wash this caddy. Now let's find what we can get rid of. There are 2 vegetable peelers that I don't need, an apple corer that is bent and a little flimsy, and we just don't need it. We can slice up apples when necessary. I have 2 bottle openers. One is plastic and metal, the other one is stainless steel. That's an obvious choice. The plastic one can go to Goodwill. I've mentioned Kendra Adachi and her book, The Lazy Genius Way, multiple times on my channel. I'm going to leave a link in the description box for her book, but also for her newer book, which is The Lazy Genius Kitchen. That is what inspired me to completely purge, reorganize, and essentialize my kitchen so that it works for me. I'm not having to wander all over the kitchen for the tools that I use most often, and to make sure I'm not hanging on to things that I have duplicates of or that I never use, like a nutcracker and a cherry pitter. I've mentioned Kendra Adachi and her book, The Lazy Genius Way, many times on my channel, and not too long ago I purchased her newest book, which is The Lazy Genius Kitchen, and that has been the inspiration for this kitchen purge and wanting to simplify and make my kitchen work for me. I will leave a link for both of those books in the description below. I would highly recommend getting the physical copy of both of those books if either of them interest you. I got the audio version of The Lazy Genius Way, and then I got the hardback copy of The Lazy Genius Kitchen, and it's so useful. They're such useful tools with lots of things that you're going to want to underline and highlight and take notes in the margins. So I really would like to eventually order myself a hard copy of The Lazy Genius Way as well. Moving on to the second caddy, I am pretty sure everything in here gets used regularly, so it might just be a matter of cleaning this up and finding a better way to organize it. For example, the one good vegetable peeler that I kept can fit in the white caddy after all. That green-handled thing is a funny shaped ice cream scoop. It actually works really well, and we use it on a regular basis. These are some straw cleaners and backup straws that go to some of my kids' water bottles. Those will be kept. That is a marble-handled spreader that we just don't use very often, so I think I might get rid of it. There are weights for my pressure canner, and now it's a game of Tetris to see how we can fit everything back in the caddy and then the caddy back in the drawer. Now I can have a sigh of relief every time I open this drawer and see exactly what I need without having to fish through all the clutter. Moving on to the second drawer, which is much, much worse. Once again, the first thing I'm going to do is empty the entire drawer. As I'm taking things out, I am sorting them according to like kind. So I'm putting my ladles together, my whisks, my serving spoons, and then I'll go ahead and remove these 2 caddies, empty them, and then wash them out. But first, I need to clean out this drawer. This one was pretty bad. One thing I have struggled with a little bit over the years as I've watched channels like Dawn, the Minimal Mom, her channel is very inspiring. However, I have found that it is not entirely applicable to my family and my life because we are a large family. We are huge on hospitality. We love having friends and family over. And when we have friends and family over, it's not 2 or 3 more people. Oftentimes it's 10 to 12 more people. So I do need to have a good 6 or 7 or 8 serving spoons and multiple spatulas and ladles. So there are times when I'm purging things like these drawers in my kitchen, and I have to keep in mind that I am using a good bit of these. Now, some things I can get rid of, like my plastic spatulas and duplicates of my rubber spatulas that I don't use as often, even this silicone coated whisk, those things can go. As I purge and occasionally bring new things into the kitchen, I'm trying to stick with higher quality stainless steel items, no more plastic. As I'm putting things back, I decided I'll keep 3 serving spoons in this drawer, 2 solid and 1 slotted, and the rest will go in a bin in my pantry for when we're hosting larger gatherings. Now it's time to put everything back, make sure it all fits, and to leave room for the knife organizer that I purchased on Amazon that should be arriving tomorrow. It is about 16 inches long, so it's going to fit nicely. This drawer is 18 inches long, and it has room for 16 knives, so I am going to use all of the knives from my wooden knife block as well as my favorites from my old knife set, which has been in this drawer. My kids surprised me for my birthday last year and bought me this new Chicago cutlery knife set, and it's been fantastic. There's nothing better than a good sharp knife when you're cutting things like delicate produce or meat. It just slices through like butter. I also realized I'm really looking forward to having these knives right here in the center drawer of my island because this is where I do all of my chopping and cutting. Look at this big, lovely pile that I will be taking to Goodwill. Surely there are other people out there that can utilize the things that I do not need. On this section of the counter, all that's left is a little bit of fresh produce that my kids are going through on a daily basis. At the sink, we have dish soap in a hand soap dispenser for portion control, hand soap in our Berkey water filter. In our little coffee corner, we have our Nespresso machine, our Skinny Girl syrup, and our milk frother. And lastly, we have our KitchenAid mixer and the silverware caddy. Anytime you're able to declutter and essentialize a space, it makes it so much simpler to maintain that and to keep it clean. Anytime there's something in your space that doesn't belong, it's obvious and you can just take it and put it back in its home. I hope this has inspired you to tackle your kitchen or whatever little fires in your house that need to be put out in order to simplify and make your home a place that works for you and not against you. If you'd like to see more videos like this, I would encourage you to like and subscribe and join us next time. Thanks for watching.